if you haven't caught word, I am participating in the next Sajam Slam, and the roster of players and coaches has been announced. So there's a mix of new and returning players to this slam, and there's a lot of talent. Actually, I was very surprised with some of these picks, considering how strong some of these players are actually in this slam, especially when you look at the coaches. Nephew Shine, El Chicote, Brian F, and the newcomers Chris CCH, Riddles, Jack, and who's that? The EVA champion, Punk the God. That was the coaches, and some new players in there like Beckmon, who is just like a monster. Feisty's also a monster. Void is just a god gamer. So there's some actual really strong players in this slam, and I was, approached by Sajam about this a while ago, and then I saw a bunch of messages about people asking me, "Are you going to be in the slam? Are you going to be in the slam?" I was debating it for quite some time, and to be quite candid, I even told Sajam, I was like, "Look, dude, I don't think I got what it takes to be in this." And he's like, "I'm going to level with you. The coaches are getting pretty sweaty." And I was like, they were already pretty sweaty the other two times. And he's like, "Yeah, we got Punk in there in the mix." And I'm like, "Listen, why are you trying to throw me to the Sharks right now?" Because I leveled with them. It's and I think it's been obvious to many people watching. I haven't been particularly locked in for the past year or two in this game at all, due to a number of factors. And even when I was locked in as I've ever been in the world of Street Fighter, I was hanging on by a thread versus some of these guys. You know what I mean? I was hanging on by a thread at my peak. Hanging on by a thread. I was thinking, I was like, I don't know if it makes sense for me to be participating in this, and I don't know if I have the gusto, the will to do it. Am I just going to be a liability for my team? Am I like, what is the point? I feel like if it comes down to the coaches matches, it should be a rising buildup of action towards a climax for an ultimate conclusion, where it should be an evenly set match, in my opinion, for even like the structure of the content. Sajam, he's convincing. What can I say? He told me, I would fit well with the format, and I let it marinate a little bit, and I thought about it, and then I said, "Fuck it." So I tweeted out when this was announced, "One last hurrah," and then I gave the extended cut here. "I know it's obvious to anyone paying attention, but I don't have the talent, nor the drive, passion, or time to try to compete anymore. Was highly debating not participating in the slam for those reasons, but I'll give it all I got for one last go before stepping aside for new coaches." And this is honestly what I was debating with for a very long time, because I have been obviously character hopping in this game. I find grinding this game very difficult to do, and on top of that, I've been very tired, like physically tired. So I saw some discussion about my motivation or what's driving me at this state. For years, I've been working a 9-to-5. Just to be clear, I have a very flexible remote job, so it's not like it's that hard to do what I do. However, the mental stack has been building for a very long time, and the amount of time I dedicated to Street Fighter in my peak was just, there was no room for anything else in my life at all. And I find as I'm getting older, I'm getting physically tired. I'm literally, when it's time to stream, time to play, time to practice, time to lock in, I find myself literally wanting to fall asleep. What usually that results in is it results in decreased focus, increased frustration, and that bleeds through. That bleeds through in the streams and the content and everything. And I find that it doesn't make for an enjoyable experience for anyone involved. I don't like streaming the game competitively, trying to practice, because it's very frustrating for me. I have obviously frustrations with the game itself, but that's not really the main thing. But literally, I don't feel like I have the energy to be stressing myself for a goal. Because one thing I think that's been missed is, I think it's okay to be pissed. Being pissed while practicing a fighting game is not unusual for me. I saw a few discussions like, "Oh, Brian F. hates Street Fighter 6. That's not really the case. When you're being a competitor, and for someone with my stat points and personality, I am going to be pissed when I care. It's just how it is. I'm going to be pissed. And how having to handle that and manage that tilt and that anger and that frustration and just being pissed off and your ego going ham, that's part of it. That's just part of the grind for me. And I've had to handle that for years. I've been trying to navigate that. That's been part of the journey, right? And it's just part of it. So like, if you look back for me on Street Fighter 5, people are like, oh, you love Street Fighter 5 so much more. If you look back on Street Fighter 5, you think I wasn't fucking pissed during Street Fighter 5? I'm not going to get salty while playing the game. Obviously, I'm going to be salty if I'm underperforming or things don't go the way I want. Like, salt is going to creep up. It's just part of it. If you care, if you compete, it's part of it. I just think I am losing my ability or my drive to fight through that and to put in the hours. And on top of that, I don't have a character that really motivates me to do that level of grind. I don't have the system mechanics, I feel like, are moving at a snail's pace in terms of updates, and I don't particularly love dealing with like low forward drive rush and things like that. So there's a few elements of the gameplay that I find that irk me. They're not changing. The game isn't updating, so it's the same game we've been playing this whole time. And on top of that, there's nothing exciting or new in terms of like the cast or anything. There's a lot of factors that are like not contributing to me being excited to grind. I just want to clarify on that. Like, I think that's a complete misnomer, thinking that if someone gets salty, they don't like the game. That's not true. People get salty about games they love all the time. And something popular, so there's little incentive for Capcom to change. Right? No, I'm not expecting them to change the game. It's just, I don't accept them. The game is doing very well and people love it. It's just that for me personally, there's a lot of things about the game that irk me, and that's fine. If you're a competitor, the whole point is you learn to beat the bullshit that irks you. What I'm saying is, I don't know if I have the emotional stamina to put in that grind. So if you notice, I stream significantly less. When I do stream, I'm usually not even playing the game as much, because I just don't even want to play it on stream. I just don't think it makes good content, and I don't think it makes I don't think I have productive sessions. That said, I did not feel prepared to be in this coaching position, right, as in terms of competing. However, the wording here, I want to clarify, I'll give it all I got for one last go before stepping aside for new coaches. I also saw some discussions saying I don't care and I'm not trying. It's the opposite. I care too much. I care far too much about being in a position where I don't let my team down. I care so much. It's unreal how much I care about that, which is the problem. I care too much. Maybe I spent a little bit too much time today not working at my main job. I grinded like crazy today off stream. And I've been doing that. I haven't been streaming because I've been practicing off stream, because I just feel like I just can't go out there and just be fucking ass. I just can't. Now, obviously, I'm not going to climb a mountain in a day. There's such a gap between me and some of these players. I'm going to have to get so fucking lucky, but I just can't. I have to. So it's what I'm saying is, if I'm not putting in the work year round 24/7, I don't think it makes sense for me to be in that position for limited spot. Like, these are highly sought after, highly prestigious. Like, this event is a big deal. It attracts a large audience. People really enjoy it. I don't think it makes sense for me to sit in the coaching position if I'm not doing the coach work in the off season. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's right, and I don't want to be looked at as a handicap. That's why I'm saying I'm going to do what I can here as much as possible, but if this comes up again, I'm going to pass on it, because I think there's other players that are both good mentors and coaches and are also putting in the work competitively, right? So I'm looking at like a Zaffarino, for example. That's more what I was thinking. I don't think it's right to take these kind of spots if I'm clearly not of that level right now. Now, I will do what I can to level up in the short time, but also obviously I'm going to be coaching, and then the main focus is going to be getting my players to carry for me. Obviously going to be the main plan. That's the most I can do. But I wanted to clarify on that front. I'm not like retiring from competing or anything. What I'm saying is, it's been obvious that my priorities in competing have been dipping lower and lower. This has always been a hobby for me. This is always something I do part-time. This is always something I just care about a lot. As time has gone on, I have not been putting in the work to maintain a level of competitive edge. So I've been getting worse and worse and worse relative to the increasing amount of talent, with the increasing amount of players grinding for increasing hours. I'll still enter random stuff when I want to, when I can. I forgot to enter World Warrior this weekend. That one's just on typical disorganized lack of awareness, right? That's not that's not a retirement signal. I just forgot. I would have entered for the hell of it, right? So I do plan on entering if I can, the World Warriors, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be around. I'm just not going to take these invite type of spots unless I, like, something magically motivates me to lock in and I really feel like I'm cooking. That's basically what I wanted to clarify on that, because I did see a lot of weird buzz around this. And some positive things. This game makes me very stressed, which is, I think, fine. I think it's fine for fighting games to be stressed, but I just don't know if I have it in me to be stressed that much anymore, that consistently. Like, for me, whenever I was good at Street Fighter, it was because I was stressed the fuck out all the time. Just my personality is just part of it. I was just banging my head against that wall, and I just haven't been doing that as much. And even then, I was, like I said, I wasn't like the best at anything. I was just like a decent player in NA. I'm now fighting those same players who continued to grind and were already like a step ahead, and I was barely holding on, like keeping up with them, barely. And now they're grinding even harder. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh shit, it's compounding. It's like, I'm not keeping up. That's the clarity on that. But some people did have some heartwarming things to share. Complex here said, shit, this is why Brian is who he is. I remember watching his video of him qualifying for Capcom Cup a year ago, and he said he was up at like 3 a.m. grinding a matchup he might play against. This shit was inspiring, man, and is why I believe any human can be good if they tried. That was me responding to Slash, talking about how it's not a binary thing. Like, I'm still going to enter, but I don't put in as many hours, so I'm kind of ass. I think he misremembered, because there's zero chance I was up till 3 a.m. grinding. Zero chance I was up till 3 a.m. grinding. I was in bed by 1 a.m. max. I did qualify for Capcom Cup that got canceled, and I did grind very hard for that tournament. I remember even Mena helped me out. I had to beat Mags. I had to beat Greg on that way, and I got to play with Mena a bunch in the birdie matchup. He helped me out, and I beat Mags in that tournament, and then I beat Dual Kevin. Rob beat my ass. I couldn't beat Rob. That was the ethos I tried to represent, was that I was never a quick learner for any Street Fighter game. I was never someone who was like ahead of the pack early on, ever. I was always someone who just was, my superpower was being stubborn. I was very stubborn, and I just kept playing, and slowly, inch by inch, the gears turn, you know, just a tiny little millimeter of rotation every session. Slowly. That was kind of the ethos that I represented, and I hope that came through in like the content and the streams. And not all of it was pretty. I get ugly and salty, and I don't like being that way. And I think nowadays, because my platform's gotten so much larger, it's also a lot more difficult to mitigate that, because back then I could have a salty session and blow it off and be like, all right, sorry guys, whatever. And that would be the end of it. Now I have a lot more responsibility. There's a lot more viewers, a lot more eyeballs. If I say some off the cuff bullshit, talking out my ass because I'm pissed, it's going to become fucking the Twitter topic of the week. You know what I mean? It's just like, there's a lot more responsibility in terms of that. So it honestly makes me just not want to play on stream. I rather just avoid the whole ordeal to begin with and just play off stream if I'm going to play. So that's something that's been also a factor, is that it's too hard to keep the mental up in a positive sense on stream. But I think that ethos came through. Like, you can be frustrated, you can be salty, but you know that you get your nose to the grindstone, you're on the grind, and that if you put in the work, you can make progress, right? So that was something that I hope came through. Some people were sharing some clips, which I thought was funny. Mumble here shared up this clip, Rest Up Robbery Sensei. He posted the one time out of 30,000 attempts that I beat Punk. I lost to Punk 10 billion times. I was like, dude, this is just unfair. Like, I lost to Punk at least 13,000 times. He posted the one clip where I got my one and only win on him. What, like the only win ever. And I watched this clip back and I was like, dude, this match was so fucking sloppy. And the funny thing about it is, this is Frosty Fausting's 2019. I got sent to losers by JB later. And then after that, I lost to Punk in losers. And then Punk won the tournament. Actually, I beat Punk another time in an online tournament, a CPT online tournament. And then after that, he also won the tournament. And then he's beat me free 10 billion times. Like, it's just, he's too fucking good. Obviously, I was proud of that moment, but he still won the tournament. He still beat me and still won the tournament after. You know? It's like, God damn it, he can't stop the kid. They posted this one, Tulio. Learned a lot about playing Balrog from Brian F. He was very good with methods for teaching and engaging players. This was a funny clip because I remember doing one of my favorite videos was on this clip here. I think it was The Art of the Robbery, something like that. Banger thumbnail. Yeah, why can't I just V-trigger one nephew in Street Fighter 6?
Welcome to Street Fighter 5, baby. Let's fucking...
Shut up, nerd. Yeah, that's it. This thumbnail is so sick. Yeah, this thumbnail, double A cooked. We're going for the Ocean's 11 vibe. This was definitely one of those moments where I was like pushing double A hella hard to make this happen, and he delivered like crazy. The Art of the Robbery with that thumbnail. It was a good video. I watched it back. I was like, oh, pretty good video. Sage Platinum shared this one. This is me with long ass hair. I was so salty this session.
I came here to fucking play. I came here to fucking play. Sit on the goddamn ground. Don't ever fucking try the corner ever again. Oh my God, I am feeling myself. I am feeling myself so much. So much. Sit on the fucking ground. No more winning because I suck. You're gonna have to earn that shit. I'm not gonna drop my punishes. I'm not gonna just whiff moves in neutral. You're gonna have to actually approach me and win with unforced errors. Let's go.
The funny thing about that pop-off is I made like 5 unforced errors in the middle of that sequence. Like, this whole... What the fuck was this? This was not correct. Whatever this was, random EX hands, anti-air crouching medium to hands. I don't know what... I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what that was. I don't know what that was. So I think I still made a bunch of errors that whole time. But that was basically like what I would do. I would just get pissed until I basically hype myself up to not suck ass as much in the moment. That was kind of like what I did for years. For years I did that. That was pretty much what I did. Just get pissed until I was like, stop being ass. And yeah, it was good times. But we got one last rodeo here. Sajam Slam team rosters. So the teams have been decided. And my team is Deku, Slime, reunited with SK, and Beckmon. So my plan is I got a beast team. I mean, I'm just gonna Beckmon is legit like really good. The tier 1 players are kind of absurd. Feisty is really good. I'm not sure the level of Lakari and Jet. Coefficient is obviously goated. Box is really good. Void's top tier gamer. Brawl Pro is very good. So tier 1 is like Feisty and Beckmon are legit Street Fighter players. Jettison 1800 Lily. Okay, yeah, they're like legit Street Fighter players. I need my team to carry. I will do what I can to carry myself, but that's the deal here. So no, I'm not disappearing from the internet. I'm not giving up Street Fighter or fighting games. It's already what I am giving up. It's already been done. I've already been slowing down my role in terms of competing and try-harding. I'll still be playing. So I still find joy in learning new things, trying out new characters. Obviously, it pisses me off sometimes, which is why I don't play as much on stream. I still play it off stream here and there, but that's the deal.